All right, X-T3, you're staying here on the mantle until you can give me classic neg film simulation, let me adjust the size of my grain, and come up with something to wow me that I can't even think of or honestly don't deserve.
Welcome back, DP Review TV viewers. Chris Nichols here with another short video. And you know, 2019 was a very exciting year in the camera industry, but by far one of the most pleasantly surprising things that we saw was how many firmware updates we saw come into the industry and how much it improved a lot of older cameras. And even more than that, how it was pretty much almost every manufacturer on the planet. But where was Fuji? This is really strange because this is really the company that made this whole concept famous. They updated a lot of their old cameras. They really breathed new life into old models, and their users absolutely appreciate it to a point where they actually developed this cult status for being the one company that really came back and improved old cameras with firmware updates on the reg. So what happened to Fuji? What's going on? Well, Fuji really kind of made this famous with their concept of Kaizen, which in Japanese means change good. I don't know, change is good, good things change, I don't know. But really the whole idea was, let's keep our customers happy by constantly updating the cameras and really make that user experience last for many, many years. Now don't get me wrong, Fuji have had some really interesting innovations this year. They've improved their face detect autofocus, they've improved their film simulation modes and added new ones, but we haven't seen these come to a lot of other cameras. So we thought we'd have a conversation. Jordan and I have opinions, we're gonna throw them out and generate some conversation for you at home as well. All right, Jordan, you ready to have a discussion about the Fuji firmware? Why are you so tall?
That's totally unrelated to the topic.
I can't do this on my tippy toe. Okay.
I mean, statistically, it makes me more attractive.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah. So Jordan, I know you have some opinions about this,
yes.
But Fuji has absolutely come out with some nice innovations this year, right?
Oh, huge, yeah.
We've got the classic neg, which I actually really enjoyed, some new grain changes, but face detect really improved. I mean, it couldn't focus on faces far away. Now it does a much better job, a little bit easier to select between different faces, so that's a nice improvement.
Yeah, and we know that the X-T3, which is by far their most popular enthusiast model right now, it's going to get some new autofocus improvements in 2020.
That was just announced.
Yes,
Yeah.
So that is coming up. But then things like with the classic neg, I would expect in typical Fuji fashion, as soon as the X Pro 3 came out, we'd see that in the X-T3, the X-T30. We haven't seen anything like that at this point. The grain size as well still isn't available in the X-T3. So yeah, we're seeing these gradual improvements, but we haven't, it's been a long time since we've seen a major feature added to a Fuji camera, which is really what they were famous for.
Now, of course, we haven't seen any changes on the X-T30 in a long time. And then what about older cameras like the X-T2, you know, that kind of stuff? The Fuji is always very good about improving those, but it could largely be processor dependent. And that's what they kind of said.
And that's what they've always said. They've said some of the new autofocus tweaks aren't going to come to the X-T2, X-T20 for that reason. But I can't imagine it's super processor dependent to put profiles like Eterna or the new classic neg or even Acros on the X-T20. Still hasn't been brought out. I would love to see them do that. I mean, it's the thing Fuji was made famous for, and it's been a long time since I think it was the X Pro 2 was the last time when they added 4K. There was a major
and that was a big change.
Feature update that was brought out. And it just sounds like Fuji is kind of losing their way a little bit. It almost feels like there's a little bit of that camera segmentation going on that we always complain about.
You could certainly say that they're trying to protect sales on the X Pro 3 for a little bit longer because right now it has those unique features, you know, and the XA7 as well, kind of give it a boost. But at the same time, I really think, should we be focusing on the fact that Fuji's, you know, doing something negative? They're not really doing anything that the other manufacturers didn't do for years. I think what's really more amazing about this year is just that everybody else stepped up their game in such a huge way.
Yeah, Fuji really inspired everyone else to do it. And when we did our recent best and worst for most improved camera, every other year since the original X100, a Fuji camera would have been on that list, if not at the top of the list. They didn't even rank this year. And it's really surprising, since that's really a big part of what the company's known for.
So does this mean that you're going to throw your X-T3 in the garbage now, Jordan?
Until I get classic neg, a profile I would rarely use on my X-T3, I'm not touching it. It's a hunger strike situation now. Hey, sorry to cut in like this, but it has come to my attention that Fuji's 3.1 firmware for the X-T3 did add some features. On select drones and gimbals, you now get USB control of your camera. Doesn't do much for stills photographers, and let's be honest, it's probably going to affect maybe a dozen people, but credit where credit's due, they did add it.
Well, you know, what we really want to hear about is your comments, what you think that Fuji can really do to improve their game, what kind of improvements you'd like to see on some of the older cameras. So please chime in. That's what this video is all about. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And, you know, keep the conversation going. Check out Instagram and Twitter. Go to dpreview.com, hit the forums. That's where you can leave comments or leave them below. And please subscribe to the channel. But yeah, hopefully we'll see Fuji improve things. Yeah, there you go. A little bit better this year, and next year hopefully we're going to see a lot more firmware upgrades to come.
Thanks for watching.